everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is another layout for the Love of Homemade Kits. I am still actually working in my kit. I'm very proud of myself. For this cut file, it is from Paige Evans, and it's kind of like a flip up multi-floral dimensional die cut. You actually don't take anything off, but you just give your paper a lot of texture. So I'm taking the time to do that on this light purple slash violet slash lavender, I don't know what you call it, solid cardstock that I did add to my kit this month. And I do bend up most of all the leaves, but in the end it's like I almost could have left it flat, but I didn't. It looks cute. It does give it a lot of interest and texture, and that's the whole point that I like. So I'm very proud because this is like the third layout I've done with my homemade kit, which means I've been using my stash, which is always a glorious part of this. And for anyone that scrapbooks, you know that we like to hoard and collect all the pretty papers and never want to use them. Even though I am struggling to use one of those gorgeous Maggie Holmes Flourish floral papers. I don't know what to do with it, and I don't know how to cut into it yet. It still breaks my heart. So here it is all bent up, and I chose my photo of me and my daughter, Valentina, and I was auditioning different papers behind it that were very colorful, and seeing how much you saw through the cut file to see the pattern paper underneath it, and it turns out you can't see any pattern paper. So I saved all of the gorgeous pattern paper once again and just backed it with white so that it had a little interest while all of them were bent underneath. I probably didn't need it, but I added it anyway just for the sake of adding it at this point. And so I just used a piece of white cardstock, but I think it was a little small, then so I must have cut it for something. So I just was taking care of that. So I am popping up my photo on some fun foam, and that's from Walmart. I usually get a rainbow pack for like $3 and it lasts forever. So I do want to put my picture in the photo, and I have all of these white die cuts that have been sitting on a dish on my desk forever. They were probably leftovers from a lot of other projects, and they were just on white cardstock. And I thought, since I was doing this purple kind of background, might as well use up all of these scraps. So these technically weren't in my kit, but they have been on my desk forever. Like I said, they're the odds and ends. So remember this Martha Stewart sticker pack of all of these like gorgeous like leaves and foliage that are iridescent in fact too. So those were in my kit. So I am using about 4 or 5 or 6 of these. So I do make a dent in that pack, even though I've had it in my collection forever. So I need to put more effort trying to use up these little elements just so that I can use up this pack. Because you know, when stickers are old, like it depends on the quality. They can either stay sticky or they lose their stickiness. You know what I mean? So then also that were sitting on my desk are these last few acetate butterflies that I've had from a old Heidi Swapp collection that used to be available at Michael's. I think it was called Mixed Media. I mean, this is like probably like her 3rd collection ever. So these are super old, but I think I have like one more of these acetate butterflies left. So I think I used 4 or 5 on this layout, so I was happy about that. So it's kind of like this butterfly and just leafy wreath around my photo, which I do like the contrast. Like I said, I like the dimension of the cut file, which is great, and then to use up all of these last little bits of white cardstock really added contrast. So even if it was like any other colored background, this would have worked out really good. And so I'm just using like some dishes around my thing because to put on those acetates, and I'm putting a little dollop of glue like in the center portion so that some of it can still be 3-dimensional off the page, and that's why I'm like bringing over different like mixed media in this dish just to hold it down while the glue semi-dries a little bit on there. So don't mind those whopping dishes sitting on my layout right now like that. And then the last little foliages that you see that have like a gray illustration on it, those were the last pieces I had from Cheeky Peach or Peachy Cheeky. I was a design guest last year, and I had a few of those left over because I did go crazy using all their die cuts on one layout. So I do like the way this comes out. You'll see that this is where it stays, and I didn't add the iridescent glitter. Remember, I added that glitter to my kit in the beginning that has like the iridescent, but it's in like glue form already. I do add like a layer of that all over the butterflies off camera, so you'll see that on the close-ups. And then I was looking for a title that wasn't in my collection. It wasn't working out what I had because I'd pulled like a thicker set that had a lot of summer phrases. And then this one, it was like silver and still dimensional. So it still works with the agreements of our recipe for our kit, but it just wasn't pulled initially. But this is all sitting from my stash. So I did audition it up top like that, and then I was like, you know what, I think I might like it down below. And I do like it down below, and down below is where it stays. So it's kind of like this whole little wreath with the little bow. That bow is a Paige Evans one, again from my stash, sitting in a dish. I think I've used a few other ones. And that really concludes my layout. Thank you so much for joining me. I'll leave the playlist for the other ladies down below. And if you haven't subscribed already, please do so and give this video a thumbs up. I'd really appreciate it. Bye!